Good morning, Sukumar Srinivasan again. Happy to see you again as we are traveling together in this journey to find out the knowledge of ourselves. We have now talked about the mind, psychological mind and the intellectual mind, which is a gift given by J.K. for the seekers, because it is much easier to understand the working of the mind by differentiating between these two, and that has really caused a real understanding. Because the earlier, in the spiritual path, the mind was divided into something like 16 parts, and subsequent, of course, with that background, they again reduced it to 4. So in the majority of the situations, the mind is defined in the spiritual path as 4 parts. One is the manas, that is the mind. The mind, what we say as manas, is different from the mind what they say in the West. The manas is a part of the total mind. And the second one is the buddhi, the intellect. And the third one is the ahankar, which is the identity or ego. It overlaps, both can be said. And the final one is the sittam. Sittam is the supreme intelligence. Now, these 4 have been divided there, and they correlate with one with another, and try to explain as to how the mind functions. And that is also a very good description, which gives a lot of understanding when we go through that. But we are leaving spirituality aside, and we are only talking on terms of practical, with a logical and a scientific basis. So we go for the division as suggested by the great religious or the philosopher, teacher J.K. Okay, so let's have both the psychological and the intellectual mind. Now, we saw how the memories are divided between the intellectual mind and the psychological mind, how they are divided, how they are recorded. Now, because the memories are the one which operate us. Without memories, we will not be able to do anything. We would have seen a sort of lunatic, mad person who has lost all his memory, or a patient with the sickness of Alzheimer's. He has lost his memory. So he doesn't know what to do and where to go and all that. You would have seen that because it's a loss of memory. So the memory is very, very important for the man to function, for anything. And of course there are lots. See, usually we have we forget. The forgetfulness is one part of our system, whereby we forget many things. Now, why it happens is because it has got a reason. Why we forget is because we do not apply our mind on a particular matter again repeatedly, so we tend to forget. That's what. Any memory becomes alive and lives stable only if we apply our mind on that memory and repeatedly think about that, so that it gets stored in the memory bank. What it requires is, a memory is recorded. What we have to do is to go on feeding it by way of recollecting it. That's all. Like we feed water to the plants, like we add fuel to your vehicles. So, by way of thinking, by way of recalling, we add strength to the memories. But what we do is we choose the wrong path. In the sense, we feed the wrong memories. The memories of psychological background, where there is an interpersonal relationship between people, and they occupy the priority over other memories. The interaction between the people, which cause both happiness and joy and sadness and misery or anything, all the negative emotions which are which arise out of the interpersonal relationship between people, they are given more importance in the memory by recalling them again and again. This is what I mean by recalling the past from the psychological mind. So our whole emphasis is on recalling the past by way of the psychological memory, where predominantly the interactions between the people and the nature of incidents and happenings which happened in the past, which caused real sorrow and misery to us, or even happiness to us, they are given a predominance. They are again and again thought about it, and they become secure in the memory bank. We cannot forget them. So suppose somebody has done some harm to us, we can never forget them, we can never forgive them, because we have given enough fuel to that so that they remain stable. They remain stable and go on remaining about the sort of misery we suffered because of that incident, because of that person. That is how the enmity develops. That is why we have classifications among people. That is, these people are, they are wanted by me, these people are unwanted. We have divisions basing on the memories. Suppose if memories are not there about those people and their actions and all that, again, then everybody will become a sort of a welcome person for you. You will not show enmity at all because the memory is not there. So that's how now we have to come to that stage where we do not give any importance to the memory at all. We do not give any importance to the memory at all. Now, is it possible? Apparently, it will look as if it is not possible, but it is possible. That is what our elders have shown us a way as to how to delink the memories from our normal being and then live like a human being. That is the essence of life. That is the essence of life which we have to learn. That is a knowledge of you can even say it is a knowledge of the self, because the self doesn't exist if the memories are not there. By self I mean the me and I and the me. I and the me. There is another self which is behind that is what they call it, the bigger I and the smaller I. Big I and small I. So let us not get into it, because that is another, say, the diversion to a spiritual path. We will not go there. But let us understand, yes, the self, as I understand, the self is myself. I is made up of I and me. And this I and me are supported by my memories, which I store in the psychological memory. Anything which pertains to the I and me are protected, safeguarded, and I will go to any extent to protect the me and I and my me. I will go to any extent, even kill people also if I want to protect myself. And the myself doesn't mean the body. Body is different. But I want to, the psychological me and I will go to any extent to protect it. And that is how it happens. That is how it happens in the society today. Everybody wants to preserve their I and me. Everybody wants to protect their I and me. Everybody wants to fight with other people to secure the I and me, and go to any extent. And even if it is false, we are ready to defend it. Even if what I did is wrong, or even if what I said is false, I am ready to defend it because it came out of me. I cannot be made to suffer because of that. I will never allow myself to be degraded, even though I did wrong. So that is the mentality of the human beings, and that is how the ego persists in the world. For each and everyone, everybody has got a well-defined ego. And that ego goes on expanding. It is not static. It is not static at all. It goes on expanding, because as long as you go on developing your memories, recalling your memories, giving strength to your memories, the ego goes on defending itself. And as long as the ego is there, your mind is there. You will not be able to come out of the mind at all. So the greatest culprit is, but the ego is like a shadow. Ego is a shadow. It doesn't have any form. If the mind is not there, ego will not be there. If the I and me are not there, and if you are ready to drop your I and me, the ego will not be there. then everything becomes one and the same. Me and I are same. I and you are same. I and that are the same. Because the ego is dropped. I don't have any I and me. That is awareness. This is awareness. This awareness has to be, sort of practiced. It is not that it is going to, blossom in one step, but it has to be brought into reality. The awareness has to be brought into reality, and it depends on us to develop it. By living moment to moment, from this minute to the next minute, from next minute to the next minute, like that, from moment to moment, if you are living, you will be fully aware. Because when you are living in the present, as I said earlier, the mind will not be there. The memories will not come to you at all, because you are focused. You are focused on what you have to do, that's all. So there only the knowledge will help you to do the thing, and maybe somebody else who will assist you, where you can, seek help from others to complete anything, to a job or work or something, anything. So the ego has to be dropped. For dropping the ego, what you have to do is you have to give little importance to the memory and little importance to the I and the me. In fact, actually nil. If you do not give any importance, the ego will die by itself, that's all, and it will never come. See, it is like this. There is darkness. Darkness is, ego is like darkness. If you just bring a small candle inside the room where it is full of dark, what happens is the darkness goes by itself. You don't need to do anything to throw away the darkness. The light comes in and the darkness goes out. The sun comes out, the shadow goes off. Sun and shadow can never meet together. The light and darkness can never be together. Likewise, the ego and love can never be together. Can never be together. When there is love, there is no mind. So, in turn, there is no ego. But when there is mind, there is no love at all. Because the mind has got a lot of storages, images, about people, about things, about happenings, about incidents, everything. It is stored. That is mind. And when we, take those things into hand, that is when the mind is there cannot be any love at all. There cannot be any smooth talk between people at all, because the mind is operating. And particularly the psychological mind. Whenever if I talk about mind here afterwards, please note that it is only about the psychological mind. That is what dictates us, that is what guides us, that is what commands us, misdirects us, and enables us to do so many things, mostly on the wrong side. So these are memories. So we talked about memories. Now, let's talk about the other aspect of the mind, where, of course, they are also part of memories, but what it is made of. You see, the memories, as I said, they are all made up of all perceptions through the five senses. Through the five senses, whatever we perceived or recorded as memories. This is one aspect. The other aspect is the attachments we develop, the identification which are imposed on us. Identifications which are imposed on us, or the conditioning which is imposed on us. You see, either by parents or by teachers or by societies or by people, anything. See, all these are attachments. All these are identifications. All these are conditionings. Now, these get recorded in the memory. You see, we were born free. We came into this world without any attachment. We came naked, both internally as well as externally. We came naked. And we started wearing clothes because my parents did, and they, clothing is important and all. That is okay. That is external clothing. External shield for not to expose yourself to the weather and all that. But internally, you get clothings. You are made to wear different types of clothing internally. What is that? Internal clothing. Have you ever heard of it? Internal clothing. Never. There is no bandage inside, nothing of the sort. But all of us have internal clothings. And these clothings are nothing but your attachments, your identifications, and your conditioning. You wear a cloth externally and you wear clothes internally. These clothes in the external, in the body, they are thrown out on the next day. They are sent to washing and all that, make it clean. But internal clothings are worn forever. Internal clothings are always there. Of course, they don't become dirty and all that because they don't have a physical shape, so they do not accumulate dirt and all that. But they are there, and you wear it. The conditioning, what the masters say, what J.K. says repeatedly about the conditioning of the mind, is nothing but the clothings, internal clothings. Of course, you don't spend any money for that. For external clothes, you have to spend lots of money, and the fashion goes on changing. But internally, there is no change in fashion, there is no change in clothing, there is no investment in money, nothing. Once you start wearing it, and you go on adding to it, additions, that is there. But identifications, conditionings are the same. Once for all, they remain. And you see, if you go for shopping, normally when you see, through the window shopping, we see some cloth hanging, new cloth, beautiful. So I say, it looks very beautiful. And the other person, what? It is not good. He says, it is not good, it doesn't look nice. I don't get offended. I said, to me it looked good, so I said nice, very nice. But the other fellow says it's not nice. Okay, we leave it. We do not bother anything much more than that. But if I buy that particular cloth and start wearing it, and when somebody comes and says, when he looks at the cloth, he says, what is this? This looks so absurd, so rubbish. Why are you wearing this cloth? If he says, it offends you. You get offended, isn't it? Why do you get offended? You didn't get offended when it was shown in the window, in the shop window. But now you are offended because that shirt belongs to me. The me and my has come in. I own it and it is mine. When the mine comes, your ego comes up and says, how can this fellow say this is wrong? This is not good. So there a division occurs. So the me and my are the greatest factors which create division among the people. And this is the one which make you to behave in such a fashion, in such a way. So the conditionings, the attachments and the impositions, what is imposed on you, continue to be there till you die. Unless, of course, you become aware and try to throw away those clothings, internal clothings. And you are able to identify them and throw them out. Till then it is there. And what happens is, you start fighting with the people to defend your internal clothings. That is the internal attachments, the conditionings, the identifications. Just for example, see, I am born as a Hindu. I am born naked, nothing, no attachment, but my parents tell me, oh, you are a Hindu boy, Hindu. So that is imposed on me. I am a Tamilian, so the Tamil language is imposed on me. Of course, I speak, because my people speak Tamil, I also speak Tamil, so I am told you are a Tamilian. I can speak any language, I can learn any language and speak. So but even if I speak some other language, they won't tell me, no, you are a Malayali. No. You are an Englishman? No. You are a Frenchman? No. Who are you? I am a Tamilian. Because the language, my mother, what they call it, the mother tongue, is attached to me as a permanent attachment. Nobody will recognize otherwise. I am a Tamilian, yes. I am a Hindu, yes. These are attachments. And I come from Tamil Nadu. I am an Indian. I am an Asian. I am a male. I am educated. I occupy superior positions. I occupy a superior position in the society by way of a caste system. My religion is the superior one compared to other religions, and my God is the most superior of all the gods. You can go on telling. This is my national flag, this is my national anthem, these are my relatives, possessions. So this sort of conditioning and identification, you can come to the other fields, religious field, political field, societal field, society, economic field, cultural field. Every field you have an attachment. You belong to a political party, you get attached to it. You subscribe to a particular economic philosophy, you attach to it. You become a capitalist, or you become a communist, or you become a socialist. So the list goes on. So these identifications and attachments. Where do I attach myself? I attach myself to a particular group. I attach myself to a particular organization. Whether it is doing good or bad, that's different. But I attach myself there. Even, you see, among doctors themselves, they like professionals, they have a grouping, doctors. So we start defending anything which is said against doctors and medicine. You belong to lawyers group, then you fight for the lawyers group. So you can't say anything against lawyers, because then the entire group will come into picture. You see, this sort of group attachments make the society into various divisions. Even in the nature, in the geographical location also it happens. This is my village, that is your village. That is the third village, fourth village. This is a town, that is a town. This is a metropolitan city, this is a metropolitan. So you compare. There are a lot of comparisons. In your city, more amount of deaths are happening. Here it is not happening. In your city, a lot of people are suffering from this and that. Everywhere in the world there are only comparisons, because we have identified ourselves with so much. So this identification, these attachments cause a lot of difficulties, lot of divisions, lot of conflicts in the society, in the world. And we subscribe to that. See, we feel offended if when, for instance, a cricket match takes place, there is Indian, say England are playing, the Indian national anthem is played, we get up and then salute it. When the English national anthem is played, we do not get up or salute it. Why? Because I am attached to my country and to my national anthem and my national flag. The other one, they also have equal attachment, but I don't give respect to that. And it looks silly also. When the national anthem of India is being played, you feel some sort of sense of patriotism and rejuvenation in the body. But while national anthem is played, of England is played, you don't feel anything. It looks as if it is some rock music or pop music. It doesn't sensate you, because the mind is tuned that way. This is how the attachment happens. We go on defending our own attachments. You walk on the road, you find a temple, immediately you start praying like this. There is a sense of piety in our body. We bow down to the temple, then walk across. Further down, you find a church. You just look at the church and just walk away. Nothing in your mind. No sensations in your mind. Further down, you go down, you find a mosque. You look at the mosque and then walk away. There also nothing is happening. No sensation at all. Now what is happening? You have crossed 3 religious places. And all these 3 religious places are revered, worshipped by the respective people. But to you, your religious place alone counts. The other two, which is revered by lots of other people, it does not create any sentiment or sensation in your body or in your mind. It is because I am attached to my religion. This is how it happens. This is how it happens. Just imagine, suppose if there is no attachment, if there is no identification, if there is no conditioning, if I just walk across, I will see this is a religious place, worship it. The second one, yes, it's a religious place, I may worship it. If I am a religious person, I may worship that also. Yeah, there also God is there, supposed to be God is there, and there also God is supposed to be there, so I will just worship all the three places without any differentiation. So then what happens is, at that time the mind does not get involved at all. When the mind doesn't get involved, then it becomes a plain mind. It becomes an innocent mind. When there are no conditionings, when there are no identifications, when there are no attachments, your mind becomes pure and healthy and innocent. And that is the mind we had when we came into this world. That is the mind we had. Where did we lose that? Did we lose that mind? No. We didn't lose the mind. It is there. It is there safely inside all of us. Not a single piece of that innocent mind, the cosmic mind, has lost. It is there. Very much it is there. And you can reclaim it anytime you want. It can be reclaimed. That is where, you see, when the paradise lost and paradise regained, the famous English poet Milton has written that paradise lost and paradise gained. Possibly he meant not only. The paradise is the pure mind, and it was lost by the people, but paradise regained by some people who could reclaim that back. So you can reclaim the paradise. You can reclaim your innocent mind. The question is, you should know it has been lost. You should know it has been lost without my knowledge. I have been sort of conditioned by my people, by my parents, by my teachers, by my society, that I have not been given a small idea of the existence of my innocent mind at all. The education is false. The system of education which is being taught is, it doesn't develop you into a man of or a good human being, or a human being who is supposed to live in this world. It doesn't allow. It gives only superficial things. Of course, it gives you knowledge and technical science and all that. That is different. It takes care of only the outer world. It doesn't take care of the inner world at all. And they don't even bother that there is an inner world at all. See, either it's a misconception that if at all we talk about the inner world or something, then it becomes a talk on religiosity. That is stupid. Religion has got nothing to do with knowing your own self. But all the religions tell you that. You should be able to identify yourself. But that is pushed to the background, and the superficial things are brought to the foreground, and that is being practiced by the people who think that is religious. Religion is totally different. Religions, they only point out the way by which you should be able to know yourself. Why you are here? Why you are here in this world? How to go about knowing yourself. That is only they preach. But that, there is a lot of diversion which has taken place from the main course. A lot of diversion has taken place, and those diverted courses, the secondary ones which are being taught and followed by the religious leaders and other people who call themselves religious people and all that. So we should be able to come out of it. So essentially today's talk is totally about the identification of the mind. That is the identifications which the mind has got, the conditionings, the attachments, all have been imposed on us. All have been imposed on us. You see, there is nothing wrong in conditioning people or telling people in a sense. But if you are conditioning the persons with truth, reality, then it is welcome. But that is not the case here. Okay, it is purely, it is totally evident that what is being told from generation to generation is a false narrative. A false narrative. Or possibly it is meant for that particular, age. And beyond that, once you come out of that, then you should be able to go beyond that narrative. But that was not allowed. Or that path also was not shown to the people, that you can take you can go out of this narrative and then find out for yourself what is the truth. It is left to the certain individuals who have to come out of this false narrative and go in a path where the truth will exist. Now, all these things are having a sense of resemblance to spirituality, but beyond that, leave aside spirituality, all these things have a direct bearing on your life. They have a direct bearing on your life, because what we are talking about is a mind. And it is a mind which causes all sorts of problems in the world. And the mind which causes all sorts of diseases in the body. So, essentially, the world of today, the youngsters, if they are unable to live a happy life, it is because of the amount of tensions and stress and all these things what they face in their profession. Now, to come out of that, instead of suffering that and then going into extended periods of disease, it is better to come out of it and then try to understand yourself by knowing yourself, by knowing you about your mind, by knowing about your body, and having a total awareness of how these things interact with each other and how it causes this sort of problems and this other things like diseases and all that. If you are able to understand that, then it is going to be a welcome sign for the youngsters to get out of the rot in which they are in now. They are in a rot. They are in a soup. They do not know where to go and whom to approach. Except for a few people, most of them do not know the reality at all. By reality, I do not mean religion or spirituality, nothing. They do not know about yourself, about themselves. That is the reality. And how the mind plays games and then draws you away from knowing the truth, and instead it enables you to get into all sort of escapism. The mind helps you to escape by way of entertainment, sports, pleasurable things, and so many diversions. The mind enables you to do that. We should remember one thing: the mind will never allow you to find out the truth. It will not allow you to find out the truth. On the contrary, it will give a false conclusion and make you to stick to that conclusion. That is mind. That is why they say in the spiritual path, they say it is Maya. So, we have to come out of this mind. We have to come out of this conditioning. We have to come out of these attachments, false attachments what we have. So, let us come out of that, and let's see in the next video, because that is going to be an important video in the sense where how we are going to find out as to how to come out of this artificial mind. The mind which we are having is an artificial mind, and let us try to reclaim the innocent mind in simple ways. We don't need to go into sort of elaborate practices of techniques of meditation, yoga, and practices, spiritual practices. Nothing is required. All is required is a pure understanding of what is what. That's all. Because you see, in the creation, the life has been made easy for man to live. Simple. See, the entire body is taken care. Entire body is taken care by somebody. Are we doing something to maintain this body? Except the external maintenance and all that, even internal something. But the functions are totally taken care. You are not to be worried about it. You breathe, you walk, you digest, you do everything. All the waste goes out of the body. Everything is taken care. Just imagine, suppose you are the master and who have to take care of all your body's organs. Like, you are a man, a CEO is in charge of a factory. He has to take care of every functioning of every machine. Suppose we are forced to do that. What will happen? It will be chaos. It will be chaos. But the Creator has given us that sort of freedom by taking care of things not by us. We are not taking care. So we are living an easy life. We eat, and whatever we eat becomes blood. We breathe, the good air goes in and the bad air comes out. The waste air comes out of the 9 holes of the body. Everything is smooth. All you have to do is to eat. That's all. You survive. You live. Nothing else. So if that be the case in the external world, if the life is made so easy by the Creator, do you think you would have created a hard way of finding out a path by which you know yourself? The nature is free, the fruits, the vegetables, everything is made free, available to you. The sunlight is there, we survive, we live. The rains are there, the river, everything is made available to you. You can live an easy life. So if I have to understand myself, do you think that the Creator would have made a path which is hard? You have to suffer strenuously. You have to carry out elaborate spiritual and tantric practices, yogic practices. Is it would he have prescribed? Never. A Creator has given us that the human being the freedom to enjoy and to live a life which is easy and to live in a path that is also easy to approach. It's very easy to approach. But everything depends on you and your mental makeup, how you are going to receive it, that's all. Because the worldly things, to which we are attached to now, they will drag us back. Because if it comes easy or free, we don't bother about it at all, isn't it? Do we bother about the breathing? Do we think about the breathing any part of the day? But that only saves your life. Do we bother about anything about our tongue? That only enables you to digest your food, whatever you are eating. And you don't even remember the existence. Does anybody remember can they recall the existence of the tongue in our mouth? Can we think about, even if we think, we cannot identify with the existence at all. Even if we try to recall the existence of a tongue, nobody can do it because it is there. It is not there, but it is there. So that is the beauty of creation. Creation is such a beautiful thing that the human beings are given the most easiest and pleasant way of living, happy way of living. It is we who have complicated those things because people want to take benefit out of it and they have complicated things. It happens in all walks of life, including spirituality. So let us leave it at that. We'll come back tomorrow and then we'll try to understand the path. Thank you.